What's going on, my friends? Happy Monday. This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And we have got another returning guest. We had at least one returning guest last week. This is exciting for me because I often say to people at the end of the show, come back and see us. Come back and keep us posted here within a couple of months and let us know how you're doing. So today we have Tyler Wise, and we're going to get this six-figure affiliate's thoughts on reinventing the wheel. Tyler, welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here again.
Hey, do you remember when you were on last? What was it, a few months ago, 3-4 months, something like that?
I think it was. Honestly, I just quit my 9-to-5 job, and I think that was like May. So
Okay.
I think it was like June, maybe even sooner than that. I don't know, but I mean, it was only a couple months ago.
Nice. So that, there's often people who ask, do people really quit their 9-to-5s, doing this? And you were able to accomplish that. Give us a brief nutshell of how that happened for you when you found Legendary. Just give us a brief timeline of what your journey's been like, just for anybody who didn't catch that first episode.
Oh yeah, no problem. So I found Legendary in about November, and at that time I was still, working my 9-to-5. I had been with my 9-to-5, probably almost about 6 months at that point. And I was looking for the next best thing. I had already been trying drop shipping the past couple of months. If you watched the last interview with Dave, I did drop shipping 9 different times, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to try to switch gears. I'm going to try to do affiliate marketing. Found Legendary. Had a couple, rocky start, a couple months rocky start in the beginning. And then in January, I made my first 10,000. I was ecstatic. And then I was like, well, let's make sure that I can continually make income from this. Not that it's like, oh, I've just made this much money and now, I'm going to fail now, So I wanted to make sure it was consistent. And then, by about April, May, I was like, you know what, it's time. It's time to leave. And honestly, I'm glad I did, because those couple months after I left, I had reached all-time highs for how much money I'd made in those months. So, I think that having a 9-to-5 was, it was nice. It was a nice, I don't know, parachute to have. But it was holding me back, essentially. But it was scary. I was definitely scared to do that. I was scared to take that leap. And, when I put my 2 weeks in, I was having doubts. I was like, okay, well, should I even be doing this? And my girlfriend was like, you need to do it, because I know you can succeed if you focus on it and give it your all. And that's what I did. And now I'm at, 6 figures. So,
well, congrats, man. I mean, that's the journey. That's what we all in this for. So,
yeah.
Congrats on that. How's that feel?
Oh, it feels great. Honestly, it doesn't even feel real, to be honest.
Yeah.
And when I see those numbers, I'm like, okay, wow, I actually did that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It shows what you can really accomplish when you kind of, I guess, unplug from the matrix and take the red pill, I guess, instead of the blue pill.
Yeah. I think that's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because we're really trained to do earn money a certain way, and when we unplug from that I guess that common system, and we utilize leverage, and we utilize the internet and the ability to be able to have systems and people working for us, even when we're not working.
Right.
This is what's possible. It's possible to be making money while you sleep.
Exactly.
And that's something that is certainly hyped up, and it's absolutely, that phrase is used and abused by every guru and Pinocchio marketer out there, in the world. But the truth is that, every week, almost every day, we have people here on the show who are doing it, who are either already there or moving in that direction. And it just goes to show that it's possible. And I think that that's really that's all that I needed. I don't know about you, but it was all that I needed, was to know that it was possible. And in where I was at when I started, you know, I kind of looked around and said, Dave, what do you have to lose? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, that's exactly what I needed. Except when I first got that first commission or so, I was like, okay, well, this is actually possible. I can do this, you know? And, and then after I left my 9 to 5, I already had cemented in my brain. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I just have to dedicate more time. I need to make sure my content is quality. I need to make sure I can, if as long as I keep doing what I'm already doing, I'm almost guaranteed to succeed. It's once you find these systems that are working, there's no need to reinvent the wheel.
Mm. All
You
right.
know?
Well, let's talk about that. So, your your whole strategy has and mindset has been, don't reinvent the wheel. Talk to us a little bit about how, I'm sure you heard that at some point, and did it stick right away? And I mean, talk us through your journey of kind of understanding that success, really, in any industry, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. I mean, unless literally you're going to space, right? Or
Right,
you're
exactly.
drilling down into Earth where no man has gone before. But even there, you have somebody who has at least tried it before, so you know maybe some things that don't work. So talk to us about your journey of either not reinventing the wheel right away, or going on this innovation journey of trying fancy things and then sort of finally surrendering to reinventing the wheel. What did your journey look like?
So I guess when I'm saying like reinvent the wheel too, like when I was learning about the funnels, about how to build these sales funnels, um, I was looking at all these top marketers, and I in the last interview that I did with you, we talked about Tony Robbins a lot because we went to the same seminar.
Okay.
Um, but one of my favorite quotes is that he's talking about how he he found out that these successful marketers, or people in his field, they leave certain clues on why they're successful. Okay, and basically you just have to follow what's already working for people. Okay, so when I first started out, I took the 15-day challenge. I absorbed as much as I could, and then I was like, okay, so what are these other top marketers doing that are promoting, well, if they're promoting Legendary, if they're promoting other affiliate programs, what are they doing? So I just started studying them, and then basically I found out what worked and I found out what didn't. And I was like, well, if it's already working for them, I need to just basically build upon what they're doing, put my own spin on it, and there you go.
Hmm.
So in the beginning, I was trying to find the perfect funnel, and this affiliate was like, I've made tens of thousands of dollars just using this funnel. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll try to make a funnel, similar to his, why not? And later on, after I left my 9 to 5 job, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to change up my funnel. Okay. And since we talked last and up until this point, I haven't changed anything, because if it was already working, all I needed to do was increase my input of content. So there's no reason if the system's already working, you need to stick with it. You just need to improve upon it.
Yeah, and when you said increase your input of content, what I also heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, is content ultimately equals traffic. So I need to
Exactly.
increase my input of traffic into that funnel. And if then eventually, not that humans are numbers, but my business becomes much more of a math equation, then it becomes some, some art or science, or like, big problem that I need to solve. It just is a math equation,
Exactly.
and I begin to realize that I, I'm getting a 50% conversion rate on my landing page, and I'm getting I'm getting a 25% conversion rate of people that land on my bridge page who are actually clicking the button, which is my affiliate link going on to whatever I'm promoting. And so that would mean that, of those people who are clicking that button, clicking my affiliate link, if I'm converting, 5% of those people, I can reverse engineer my success to know exactly how many leads I need to drive to that landing page per month if I want to continue at the level that I'm at of earnings, or if I want to double or triple. And then it becomes simple because I can create another, or you're marketing on TikTok, and that's really where you kind of saw quite a bit of initial success, and you're still there, right?
Correct. So, I mean, yeah, I've kind of branched off, and I found most of my success came from Instagram, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But my point is that, if I'm initially marketing on TikTok and I'm driving 5,000 hits to my landing page and that doesn't mean, people who are watching my videos, that means hits to my landing page. Some way, somehow, I am getting people to click on emails who I've initially generated them as a lead, and I'm driving clicks, or I'm driving fresh clicks from a TikTok channel or something. Right. I want to increase that from 5 to 10,000 unique hits to my landing page each month. And by the way, everybody, there is a difference between total hits and unique hits. And, total hits might mean that the same person went back 10 or 20 times. I'm talking about unique hits, different people, unique hits. So if I want to go from 5,000 to 10,000 unique hits, maybe I open up an Instagram and I take and repurpose that content onto Instagram. Maybe I, maybe I create another TikTok channel. But the point is that it becomes a math equation, and I no longer have to sit around obsessing over my bridge page, or obsessing over my bridge page video, or obsessing. I find, Tyler, that the majority of people tweak and mess around with their funnel when they don't have even enough traffic to do an actual test and get actual real data and feedback about whether it's working or not. Is that something that you believe as well? And how do you approach that? I mean, how to give us your experience with the fumbling and messing around? And I really consider it just busy work, right?
Yeah. What's funny is like, in the beginning, I was constantly tweaking it. I was like, okay, well, and my problem was traffic. And I realize that now, but looking back, I was like, okay, well, maybe if I adjust how this looks, or maybe if I adjust how my bridge page video is, maybe I said something weird. Maybe that's why. And it's like, I was just overthinking it. Okay. Right. So my problem just was I wasn't getting enough traffic in the beginning. And so I was just primarily focusing on, posting on TikTok. And then around, December, I started posting on Instagram. I just started repurposing the content. Mm-hmm. And I started getting so much traffic that I found out, my funnel does work, actually. But I in the beginning, though, you don't know. You're like, you're second guessing yourself. You're like, okay, well, I was just getting to the point where I'm like, every single day I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to go and check this. Maybe I need to change this. And I was just in my head so much. And I think that was almost inhibiting my success as well, because I was like, oh, well, something's got to be wrong.
Yeah. And let's give an analogy so it makes sense to everybody. Pretend that you opened up a brick and mortar kind of corner store in some small town, and you kind of like a 7-Eleven or something, or a Wawa in like a big city. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of mom and pop corner stores. But let's just pretend that you did. You had a mom and pop corner store, and you had, jelly and bread and peanut butter and milk, and you wanted to grow that business. Well, let's say that you got the store all set up, but nobody, a couple of customers here and there, but not too many customers, right? Maybe 5 a day, and
Yeah.
and so instead of going out there and advertising, or going out there and flying a friggin' sign on the side of the road telling people you're open, or doing anything to get people to just simply walk through the door, you instead go and reorganize shelves all day and sort of hide inside the business, hide inside the store when nobody really even knows that you exist, right? And you're just kind of, well, maybe the thing that I need to do to grow my business is I need to put the bread over here and the milk over there. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe I need to, right? That's kind of what we do as online marketers when we're fidgeting and messing around with these things on the back end, when instead we need to go and talk to people in town and say, hey, how much to put my name and business and let people know that I'm open up on that billboard? Hey, can I put signs in your yard? Hey, I'm going to go out and put signs all up and down the highway and let people know that I'm over here, kind of like people do with a garage sale. Right. Or hey, I'm going to go to a network meeting, or I'm going to run ads on Facebook, or I'm going to fly a sign in a big banana costume on the side of the road, and just do anything that I can to get attention, to let people know that my business is open. That's, I think, the analogy,
Yeah. Honestly, that's probably the best way you could have put it, honestly.
We mess around way too much with reorganizing our shelves. And I think it really all has to do with getting used to kind of seeing our voice on video, and just kind of realizing that we're not the most important thing in the world, that, people are not sitting down when they're watching a video. They're not thinking, well, he didn't say that quite. I didn't like the way his lip did on that. They're not grading us like a paper. They're asking themselves, what is in it for me? Exactly. What about this person? It doesn't matter whether the person has a mental disability, a physical disability, whether the person can barely talk, whether you can't hear them speak, whether they speak low, whether they're skinny, big, tall, small. It doesn't matter. The only thing somebody's thinking, and when they're watching or reading, is, what in the hell does this have to do with me, and what's in it for me? Yeah. And that's human nature.
Yeah.
So how is that? Clearly, if you're driving traffic and you're making money and you're having success, then you're giving people something that's valuable to them. Explain in your own words how you figured out how to do that in your content to get people driving and going in hordes to your landing page and into your funnel.
So basically, in the beginning, I was doing what every single affiliate marketer is doing right now. And that's kind of just like saying, oh, well, what would you do with another $2,000 per month? Okay. And I do post those sometimes on TikTok, but I've kind of moved away from that. I focus now on just getting as much traffic as I possibly can. And what I've done to do that is kind of like create a series, something that people will come back to, so they can continually see my face, and then eventually they're going to click on the link in my bio. And then they're gonna be like, okay, well, what's this guy? How does he make money? How is he able to make all these videos constantly? And you want to make your audience kind of curious. You don't really want to give them the answers. If you give them everything, then that kind of ruins the entire sales funnel. Okay, so you want to make them curious. You want to make them be like, what is at the other end of this page? What is it? What is the person promoting? And hopefully, then eventually they will buy it. But my main focus now is just creating content that is kind of entertaining or informative or valuable to them that people can use. So, one of my series is that I post is that websites you need to know, and it's just interesting websites. Another one is like Chrome extensions. And then I put, different affiliate videos and in between those. And then, since the other videos are getting so much traffic, they check out the affiliate video. They're like, oh, well, I want to do that. And then they go to link my bio and they buy it.
Yeah. It's amazing how we're always trying to come up with, these wild, unique concepts and stuff. But I was watching this, I was doing some just some kind of thinking in watching some famous and legendary marketers and entrepreneurs over our lifetime and even before over the weekend. And one of the things that they really do and that works is speaking in super simple terms. And so, for example, it's even been proven on earnings calls with CEOs who talk in really complicated technical jargon about that industry. Those companies grow less and less people invest in the stock and less people get excited about the company than people who talk and CEOs and leaders and spokespeople of the company who talks in really simple terms. And there's no better like 5-minute speech and example of this than Steve Jobs back in the 80s, I think, when he introduced the ad Think Different. And what he explained to the audience was that nobody you know, all of the best brands and most popular brands in the world don't talk about the details of the business. You know, Nike doesn't talk about the material and functions of the shoes. They celebrate world-class athletes and world-class athletics. And they make it really simple for people to get behind and really simple for people to understand. And how I relate that to content that does really good is that if you can help somebody with a simple little tip, like you said, hey, here's my top 5 Chrome extensions that have helped me to run a better business and make more money online. Number 1, boom, you know, and you don't need to go into the technicalities of the app. You don't need to break down all of the, you know, you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be a genius on how that app works. You just need to explain this app helped me to make more money and get more of my time back so I could have more time freedom. Number 1, right?
Right.
And that would be a great example of a way to sort of pitch that particular app. Now, if you did a series of my top 5 apps, which would be a great example of what you just said, I'm going to do a series and bring people back.
Yeah.
In the first video, I might say, here's how this particular app helped me to make more money and get my time back. Number 1, it helped me to not have to remember my passwords. And we all know that, and I'm thinking of LastPass, an app that I use. We all know that we forget our passwords. And that alone has saved me hours and hours, it seems like, in a day. Is just not having to go and remember passwords or reset my password or search some stupid spreadsheet that I've made, like, which I've done 3 or 4 times over my life. Here's the new spreadsheet with all my passwords. And oh, by the way, how absolutely ridiculously unsafe is that? Like, I'm just asking for identity theft to be holding random spreadsheets of all my passwords on my computer, or I don't even know how to work Apple iCloud, for God's sake. So, you know, that's probably being published somewhere on the internet. Anyways, this app LastPass helps me it remembers all my apps for me, and it's the best thing in the world. It's helped me make more money because it's saved probably at least an hour of my time per day. That alone, like just telling stories, being funny, just being ridiculous, that sort of stuff relates to people better than going in and trying to be all technical and make sure that you come back for my second app that's helped me. Tomorrow, I'm going to be publishing that bad boy around noon Eastern time. I'll see you there. Oh, by the way, check out the link in my bio. You'll see how I've been able to grow a business online, or whatever, right? Just
exactly
action. But anyways, does that resonate with you? That sort of the simplicity message?
That's basically what I'm doing. You pretty much just summed it up. Because like you want the audience to come back for you. You know, you want to kind of almost like build a internet relationship with them. You're kind of trying to build trust. And if if they think that you're really going to help them, if you're really helping them, you're building trust, and then they're going to be more inclined to go and buy whatever you're promoting, or, help you out because you've helped them out.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And I think the more real, and when I say real, I don't mean like, I think I asked this to a lot of people and I say, okay, what do you think has been the number one contributor to your success? And they're like, just being real. And what I would say that that means to me is not particularly, you know, it's complicated because you can be whoever you want to be on the internet. You don't have to be lost and struggling, you know. And most people who are getting started are like, I'm struggling and I'm new and I'm a newbie, and really have this kind of mentality of like, and you may feel new. I'm not saying you're not new, all of you listening. I'm not saying that you're not new. I'm not saying that you're not, don't feel like you're struggling. But for me, the authentic self that I want to portray is I want to portray my most confident. I want to portray my funniest. I want to portray my most certain self. I don't want to lie and make it seem as if I never have any insecurities, but in order for me to get started creating content, I need to step into my certain and confident, my most confident self. And at that point, I can begin doing some self-deprecating humor, which is kind of where you make fun of yourself a little bit. I find that to be very, very rapport building because it shows that you don't take yourself too seriously. But I'm not going to beat myself up, and I do want to portray confidence. I do want to communicate certainty to people because people respond and listen to certainty. How, Tyler, did you overcome any sort of self-talk that nobody would listen to you, or that, or in find your more certain, confident voice?
So what's interesting is that, a couple of years ago, I was like almost afraid to be on camera and make these kind of videos and whatnot. So, I just determined that, I wanted to succeed more than my fear of like what other people are going to think of me. Okay. And, when I started making my TikToks, I mean, if I go back all the way to the beginning of the TikToks, I can definitely see like a shift in confidence. And I think that's probably just because of my success with my affiliate programs. And, I kind of started to figure out how to become successful on these platforms. But basically, I just kind of like put on a different face on the internet. Kind of like exactly what you said. You can be whoever you want to be on the internet. I wanted people to think of me as like this digital expert, even though I was learning alongside them. I wanted to be portrayed as this person who can help them and who's there to guide them.
Yeah.
And so I just, I was like, okay, well, you know what? I have to, if I'm going to succeed at this, I have to put my, best face forward and
Yeah.
be this person. Then I ultimately I became that person.
Yeah.
By believing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think this is important. And even those of you who say, "Well, I've gotten my success from being myself," if you listen to what we're saying right now and really, really, truly apply it, you'll be able to take things to the next level because you really can portray yourself as. And I wouldn't say it's a dramatic difference from who you are right now, but you can kind of take your confidence up a couple of notches, acting as if you are that digital expert, even though you're just learning. For me, the way that I've been able to do that, because even to this day, I'm not a digital expert. Like there's so many things that are changing, but the fundamentals and the principles of direct response marketing, affiliate marketing, like I'm an expert in that. But all the little nuances and things that are changing every day, I'm learning right alongside of everybody, and I tend to act as a reporter in that, more than like a great example. I think there's a couple of different personalities that you can be, or sort of characters that you can be online. As a creator, you can be the kind of leader, the all knowing, always knowing. That would be like your Tony Robbins and your Gary Vaynerchuk. Like those guys are really, when you're listening to them, you just kind of think, God himself delivered stone tablets to this guy, and he just knows everything. And and is on the cutting edge of everything.
Yeah.
Then you've got like your reporter who like is more like an Oprah, who built her brand from learning from other people or discovering new things. Those would be marketers like a Frank Kern, for example. His marketing has always been interesting to me because he's one of the most successful marketers on the planet, always has been, and has this mysterious allure that just makes people buy. And his angle all the time is, I just made a new discovery. I just tried something. I had no idea that it was actually an accident. Okay. I put a button for people to buy on the page. I didn't even mean to do that. And I generated like 1,000 sales. And I want to show you how I did that. Right. And you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit. Like because he plays himself so down as if he's an investigative journalist who just discovered something. But the way in which he communicates it is with absolute certainty. So it's almost like he plays dumb in a sense, like dumb. Like, I just discovered this. Like, every campaign that he runs is a test. He's like, so I'm doing a test today, and I'd like to see how it works, see how it resonates with the audience. So I want you to go and check out this video. And then you get to the page, and the video is like a hardcore badass video sales letter, right? With an awesome offer. But the way that he gets you there is like, hey, this is a test. And then what he does is a couple of weeks later, he comes back and he says, hey, I just generated $50,000 from this campaign, this test that I ran. I want to walk you through everything that I did. And now you're like, oh, I want to see that behind the scenes, right? So he then walks you through everything, kind of as you said, but not really giving you all the details. And he says, if you'd like to attend this brand new consulting course that I just put together, I'll show you more in detail, plus gives you all the scripts, all the emails that I used, all the ads. I'll show you the offer on the back end. And that's $997. And it's a 4-week class, right? So it's always, this is a test. It's always like, it's the reporter, but it's coming across with certainty. And I think that that's what more of all of us can use, because we don't need to be the leaders. We don't need to be inventing the wheel per se, the cutting edge inventors of strategies. But when we try something and it works, we can share that. And that's actually, if I think back over a decade ago, that's how I built on my results. Was I say, hey, I just tried this new strategy and generated 5 new leads. And that's double what I was generating before. And I'd like to show you how I did it, right? And so I would kind of lure people in with that bait of whatever the result that I got, big or small, and then I would just kind of build on that until I was like able to communicate even bigger results. Does that resonate with you?
Well, now I want to perform some tests, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Oh yeah, that's just smart. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some research on that now.
Yeah. Well, it's a way to not sort of have to reinvent the wheel. Like if I was, if I was brand new and starting on TikTok today, there's so many different ways that I could begin to create content and not have to, and not deal with and overcome, let me say, my what do we call that? My kind of my newbie complex, right?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one way that I could do that is even if I don't know anything, say I don't know these top 5 apps, but if I saw somebody else create a video like that, I could be like, hey, there's this marketer that I follow. His name's Tyler, and he made this video. His name's Tyler Wise. He made this video that really helped me, sharing 5 apps, and I want to share those apps with you today. I've actually tested all of them and downloaded them today. And here's the ways that they're already working, right? And let's say that I repurpose some content, and then after I did that series, I can say, hey, I did a marketing experiment on everybody last week where I shared a series of 5 videos, and here's how it worked out to either grow or not grow my TikTok traffic, right? And so
Yeah.
everything that you do, you follow up with the results of that test or that campaign. So you're giving people sort of a behind the scenes look at what you're doing. And you know, it's just people are super intrigued by that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm interested in all of that now. Now I'm just kind of like, wow, maybe I just need to rethink some of my strategy, because that's all great information. Like, I can just show my followers, and then they're interested, then they'll go and maybe trust me even more, or buy something in my bio, or, who knows,
Well,
yeah.
that's one of the things that you're trying to do, right? Is build trust. So if you're taking people sort of behind the scenes and you're showing them, hey, let me show you what I just did over the past week and how it worked or didn't work, right? Um, yeah, in a sense, you're kind of saying, I'm willing to take you behind the scenes of my business and sort of show you. And it's just a way to mix up and be that reporter, and kind of you're not it takes the pressure off of you to have to always act like everything is a massive success, because you might also report that something didn't work and here's what I learned.
Right.
And I know a lot of people are thinking that, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, then you report that, you know what I mean? You report,
Exactly. Yeah.
and here's what I learned from that, and then people are getting value, because ultimately people want to know what's in it for me. What is in it for me? Why would I watch this? Well, if you're willing to take me behind the scenes of your business, even if it's only for a minute at a time, and show me things that are working or not working, then, and that's, of course, if you're working in the make money online niche or whatever, there's ways to do this in different niches, of course. But yeah, if you're teaching marketing and you're talking about marketing all the time, then, and people are interested in also marketing or starting a business online, then taking them behind the scenes and showing them what's working and not working, in saying, in sort of using more of the language of, this is a test, or I wanted to bring to you some genius idea. You guys could do it from this content that I'm talking about right now. You could be the reporter, and I think that's an avatar or a character that you can kind of step into as a content creator, rather than needing to be the leader or the all-knowing guru who always knows everything. And I'm sure there's some marketers out there that a lot of you look at and say, well, how do they just come up with, I mean, it's just like they have endless content. They just have endless ideas. It's like they just are always on the cutting edge. And that's a tall order to live up to, whereas instead, if you can take more of the reporter, like Oprah, if you think about, Oprah built her career not off of being the all-knowing, or not off of being the expert. There's only so many shows that you can do where you're the expert. It's another reason, in a sense, Tyler, I'm the reporter here on this show.
Right. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. I mean,
You know,
yeah. So yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the
It's just like allowing people to be like, hey, come watch this with me. Find out what I found out alongside me, and then
exactly.
you're building trust along that, and building a relationship with you, following that way. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great way to do it, because I mean, I'll be honest, because I try to act like I am the all knowing, like,
yeah,
it's digital marketer, and it is a tall order. I mean, I have to
yeah,
constantly find content to create. So that,
yeah.
that's something I'll definitely try to mix up in my content now. That's great.
Well, I think that's great. If you really can, if you can own that role, and still, and not be dishonest, like, I
Right.
think there's, when people are owning that role and they're just telling straight up lies, that then they're more of a con man than they are of a real leader. But if you can own that role, I would say that I've been half leader, half reporter in my career, because part of I'd say confidence building has gotten to a point to where I do feel confident talking about things that I do, and actually teaching them as strategies, right? Like creating my own kind of strategies. Like, this is what I do. And then there's that other part where I'm reporting, bringing on guests like yourself, and learning what you're doing, and then trying to communicate that back to the audience, ask the right questions to get to get the information back to the audience. Um, but yeah, I think it's a great place. Anything that we can do, especially when we're just getting started out, to relieve a little bit of that pressure of needing to know everything and needing to be the expert and the successful guru, is a I think is a plus and a strategy worth at least testing. Up, looks like we just lost Tyler, unfortunately. I don't know why that is. So well, hopefully, well, you know what, we're coming up on the end. Hopefully that was valuable to you folks. And yeah, so maybe his internet went out, maybe his power went out, maybe his internet crashed.
So
His
he was on his phone, and I have had before where the phone gets so hot on StreamYard that your phone just overheats. Oh, he's back.
Interesting.
I got the app just kind of just closed out on me. I don't know why.
We thought your phone might have overheated or something.
I think that may have been what happened, to be honest.
Well, you know, I've done a lot of talking, and you know, I hope that it's been valuable to everybody, and yourself included. But what would you say, man? I'm so happy for your success. You're a humble guy, and you deserve everything that you have, and I'm sure that the future is going to be super bright for you. And get the sunglasses. You know, just thought a good dad joke there. But anyways, man, I mean, you definitely have a bright future. You definitely get this stuff. You know what I mean? And you're willing to kind of listen and take, try new things. And I can see why you're successful. It's that it doesn't seem like you get super overwhelmed and panic, but instead you're curious, you're optimistic, you're willing to pivot, try new ideas. And that's kind of what it takes, man. That calmness, through, don't panic, through because you said you had a couple of challenging months at the beginning, right?
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I'd say that, I spent a lot of my time in the beginning, especially the first 3 to 5 months, I was just troubleshooting constantly. I was like, what is going on? Because I wanted to succeed so bad, I just kept going back to the drawing board. And then obviously you contribute that with some of me just overthinking about my funnel or my email marketing. And in a way, I was kind of almost self-sabotaging. So, that's why I really want to go back and reiterate that if you find a system that works, if there's really no need to reinvent the wheel, okay? Just make it your own, add your style, find what works for you, and then apply it, make it work, But yeah, I mean, thanks so much. I mean, I wouldn't be here, honestly, if it wasn't for Legendary Marketer, if I'm being honest, because I was just trying every single side hustle that I could find online, and eventually I found Legendary, which I'm so glad. But yeah, it's been a journey. I can't wait to see, what's next. I can't wait to get to the next milestone. I was talking, yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, well, if you tried to guess what the future would bring, you would definitely shortchange yourself. Seriously, I mean, you would. I mean, if you stick with this, with the power of the leverage that this business and this business model offers, there's no one, including myself, that is able to accurately predict in like a reasonable. You will always undershoot. You will always under guess how much you can achieve and what will actually happen, the money that you can make, the lifestyle that you can have. And I'm not rolling out the pictures of the Lamborghinis and the Rolls Royces and the mansions, here, like, to try. It's just because it takes work, it takes work, it takes sticking with it, and it takes time. Things I must earn. It takes time. It takes time. All things take time, but this takes less time than most things, in my opinion, like college and building a career. in a typical or standard blue pill profession, you know, where you just be a good little boy or girl, get your college degree, get out there and work up the corporate ladder. I mean, in my opinion, that's a blue pill. It's a blue pill route, man. And it's just, you know, exactly, you can predict that, and you will often overshoot what you can achieve in that in that route. Whereas with entrepreneurship, this business model, digital marketing, you will definitely undershoot your goals. So looking forward, a couple of more months, come back and see us, brother, and keep us posted. It's super valuable content and super valuable experience from you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me on, but I did want to say one thing. You said you were talking about college, and you know, the blue pill and that route. You know, what's interesting is I always post questions on Q&As on my Instagram stories. That's kind of like how I build like an engagement with my following. Someone was like, "Do you have a college degree?" to me, and I was like, "I do have a college degree, but my college degree isn't the reason I was successful. It's because of my discipline and my desire to succeed was. In fact, most people that I know with a college degree that are not like in the medical field, for example, are working at a retail job or like McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, so it just depends on how bad you want to succeed. You know, you determine your success, not a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You know,
no, so. Great advice, man. And I couldn't agree more. It's unfortunate. It's sad, but it sometimes is the motivation that somebody needs to take, to go red pill quick. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Sort of unplug. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I had a little fun. Yeah, I partied a lot. I survived. I got through, but it's time to unplug from this game and head down the red pill road quickly. So you did that. Congrats, man. And we'll have you back soon if you'd be willing to come back. All right.
I'm always willing. Yeah, thank you so much.
Tyler. Thanks, buddy. See you, man.
See you. Bye-bye.
All right, my friends. Well, you can find Tyler on Instagram at Tyler Z Wise, TYLERZ WISE, Tyler Z Wise on Instagram. Follow him, like his content, leave comments, support him, lift him up, and over on TikTok at TylerZWise.exe. My friends, we'll be back here again, as always, tomorrow for another episode. Get out of here and have a fantastic day. Be legendary, my friends. We'll see you back here tomorrow.